Are you often surprised by things that you see in your footage when you bring it back and you're looking at it with an editor that you didn't see in the moment? Things that you just never ever registered, discoveries?
Yes, most recently, Shane and I have been filming down at Occupy Wall Street a little bit, and we just completed we've done two 15-minute short docus, and we're just starting our third one now. And the one we just finished is essentially a drum circle on a particular day when particular things happen. And the more we cut it, the more we started to see, like who the really good characters were, what was really happening. Yes, you can get so swept up in filming something that feels so good, but really it's almost like, for me, it's almost like a dream state. I'm not like, oh yes, and blah, 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 like that. So, then you take a look at it and start making all these discoveries.
Do you ever, when you're looking at that, do you ever just go, oh, I just don't know what I'm going to do with, I just don't know how I'm going to put this. Is there ever that moment of existential panic when you have no idea how it's going to fit together?
I sort of, but that moment passes very swiftly because all you have to do is go like, well, I'm not even going to try to edit this yet, but I'm going to start removing all the parts where the camera's out of focus and nothing's happening. And now, and like with Carolyn Parker, our first cut of I'm Carolyn Parker was 8 hours long. We had hundreds of hours of film, and I loved that version. I was like, this is perfect. This is like this, and then I finally wanted to. I had the dream that because Carolyn is so remarkable, and her story is, I find, incredibly moving, that if we could get it down to an hour and a half or so, maybe we might be one of those lucky documentaries that winds up truly at the IFC cinema. Not at the, Doc NYC even, just it might show somewhere because she's marvelous. So driven by that, Ido Har, a great editor, came in and just got very ruthless, and I left alone. He also, but even Ido fell in love with, in the film briefly, there's Antoinette Kado, who is the one who brought us specifically that neighborhood. It was Antoinette, we were filming that day, and suddenly Carolyn kind of took over. But Ido fell in love with Antoinette Kado and said, maybe there's a way that we could follow the Carolyn Parker story and also the Antoinette Kado story, because we had hours of hers. And I was like, okay, that's sure. And because I felt he needs to try that to discover that won't work if our aspiration is a 90-minute film and we have hundreds of hours of Carolyn and her wonderful daughter and son. But it's, you just take out the stuff that isn't, we just keep taking out stuff that isn't working. And then at a certain point, even with our little Occupy Wall Street things, you realize, everything, I think that everything needs to tell a story. Even if it's a story that you just feel, as opposed to like consciously are following, you have to tell a story. You have to keep moving.